During every project there comes a point when problems are piling up, motivation is going down, and it's hard to see how everything can be solved. In German we call it the Tiefpunkt. We seem to have reached this point now.
Ich putz mir hier eins ab. Ich hab schon redet.
Selber schuld. Dann hast du
Hello, this is Adrian from Black Forest Games.
Ich mir jetzt gerade scheißegal. Ich kann diesen Dreck hier drin nicht mehr ab. Jeden Tag die Putzerei auf diesem Boden, das geht nicht mehr. Die sollte sich mal draußen die Schuhe ausziehen oder putzen. Das kann nicht sein.
Okay, ich kümmere mich drum.
Ich hoffe es aber, weil ich habe keine echten mehr.
Sorry, alles klar.
Ja, ist okay, tschüss.
Okay. Wo war ich stehen geblieben? Okay. Hello, this is Adrian from Black Forest Games with a new...
Ja, das geht aber echt überhaupt gar nicht. Also die Küche ist mega dreckig. Kaffeemaschine, es ändert sich hier einfach nichts. Das kann einfach nicht sein.
Ja, ich habe aber schon den Leuten...
Ja, du sagst ständig was, aber es ändert sich einfach nichts. Ich habe da echt die Schnauze voll von, muss ich da ganz ehrlich sagen.
Ich kümmere mich drum.
Ist okay, tschüss.
Super. Okay. Sorry. Habe ich auch keine Lust mehr, kommen wir auch später.
So the main reason I went into the games industry is that you are creating cool products, games, the kind of cool stuff that I admired playing since my childhood.
The main reason why I joined the game industry, or why I am in the game industry, is
I think simply because I can't do anything else.
Playing video games has been always my passion since childhood.
Because I was playing games almost all my life. So it's 40 years now.
Turning that hobby into my job is the most amazing thing that happened in my life so far.
It started out with simply playing games and getting paid for it, and now it's turning a passion into your job.
I think it's a very interesting industry to work in because you have always something new to learn. Every game is different, every project is different, and you often switch time period, location, and you always have to dive into something new.
And of course it's always challenging.
So it's not something that you can easily get bored with.
Knock knock. Hey.
Hey Vincent.
Can I have a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Did you get my mail about levitating objects?
I was just reading it.
Okay. So I talked to Arthur. He estimated 2 hours to implement it on his side. But yeah, things tend to cascade, so we will time box it. And if it starts to take longer than normal, we will let you know. Okay?
Okay, but you're quite safe that it can be done in this?
Yeah, it's normally just a simple movement of an object, and that's it, and then switching the behavior.
Okay, yeah, then go for it.
Okay, thanks. Hi, my name is Vincent Humene. I work at BFG. I'm a junior level designer, so I've been working on the world and implementing the logic of all the monsters and the pickups and the gathering areas, etc. Shipland is the working title for the new area that we'll be adding to the update. To start from the beginning, eons ago we had a prototype level, but then we wanted to switch to a bigger open world, of course. And from that point we already made concept arts and decisions to have these big landmarks in the world. One of which is the bent cargo ship on top of a mountain. And when we were first blocking out the road, we already defined this is position, here is the can. And you could see this big landmark always daunting on you, always give you incentive to go forward. Before I'm heading off, I just want to tell you that we tried out the floating cars and we had a small issue, but Johan will look into it tomorrow morning, so then we know our answer if we will spend more time in it. Well, the object wasn't floating up unless we went into debug mode, clicked on it, and then it was floating up.
Okay, but in worst case we lost 1 day, right? 2 hours, yeah. So I spent some time on it, couldn't figure it out. Arthur spent some time in it, and then he was like, okay, maybe we should ask Johan about this. But how big is the risk that we don't make it for the update?
Well, if it doesn't work out, if Johan can't find the issue immediately, we'll drop it, and so we don't waste more time on it. If it is immediately fixed, probably only takes half an hour or something to finish it up, and then we can add it to the level.
But let's say Johan can't fix it fast, is there a chance that we at least can fix it after the update?
Well, yeah, sure, if we have the time.
If you have the time. Okay, keep me updated, please. What's going on?
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Have a nice evening. Like always in game development, we are short on time, and we try to do always new stuff and make the things as interesting as possible. As for now, I have to go to the producers and ask if I can steal some of the programmers' time for a new feature. Feature creep is always present. Kruger One Konobi, can you help me? But you own me. I saved your daughter during the cyber wars. I need a new feature, a wave spawner, where I can spawn things, but I need a programmer. Can we use a programmer's time?
Because we don't have any coders.
But the
I can give you Niels for half a day. But that's even absolute maximum.
And your kidney.
And a kidney. This is how it feels. Get the pain. Thank you.
Nails! I cheated him! I have what I want! So I have to put forward a design or for a feature request where I list down the production cost to it, the possibilities with it, and the effort it will take to make it in the game. Once I have this feature, I can actually implement it, and it is always a good thing to go for easy wins, something impactful without too much production costs. Hey. So,
hey Vincent.
About levitating objects, I talked to Arthur, and he told me that Johan took a look at it. It was just a simple issue with the instances not already being changed, but not the blueprint itself.
That's good news.
So they are working now, and now we're just adjusting the buoyancy a bit, so I can implement them.
Cool. Really happy because I think that will be quite a cool feature for.
It's a fluff tint.
Yeah.
And
great, well done, well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thanks.
All right, so we are ready now to push the update live. So let's go.
Done. Perfect.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video to get a better look into how a level is built. So keep on surviving, because I will try everything to make you not survive. Bye. I am in the games industry because
it was my childhood dream.
Because I get to work with people with magical powers.
I started in art school.
They need human help every once in a while, and I can be as crazy as a human I want to be, often.
When I had the chance to slip into the games industry, I seized it.
Then I was in Glasgow, then I went to London, and I was always working in film industry.
At some point I was held by gunpoint.
Came back to Germany, and then even moved back to my hometown, and was looking for something, and then I was lucky enough to find this, which is very close to film stuff that I did before.
I've always been fascinated by game industry and not really game themselves, because usually game tends to gather many different artistic jobs, and that, I think, is the most impressive thing.
Very close, and he made me swear that I went to the games industry.
You have quite a load of different jobs within a single industry, and this is absolutely fascinating but also super interesting.
Funny turn though, that day I also had some pills from a hobo, so yeah.
Das letzte Mal, was ich gearbeitet habe, war Hellboy 2. Guillermo del Toro, der war wahnsinnig schon. Das war halt London, und dann habe ich gedacht, ja, hier finde ich nichts annähernd Ähnliches, und dann kam ich hier rein und die haben mir die Sachen gezeigt, und es war halt richtig, richtig toll.
That's why I wanted to work in the game industry.
Alright, let's take a look at the tornado.
Quite fast.
Yes, I first want to see him die.
Yeah. You'll notice that at first when you're sucked up, you just have small inches of hits, so you're like, just take a small amount of damages, and then booyah! Eventually you die, in fact.
So, let's take a look at the tornado. So here we have the activation sphere.
Yeah,
that's cylinder.
Straight when you enter into the balloon, whoop, spawns, like this.
Then we can already see it, so you can avoid it.
Yeah, you also have some fluff stuff. Just try to avoid this. It doesn't make that much damages, it's mostly made to threaten you a bit.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, at some point you will have a dead zone, so whenever you enter you will...
Yeah, you can go to that.
Yeah.
And then here you fucked up.
So you just have small hits of damages.
Like if you can feel it in the thing, and then you're dead.
And you have it. Super cool. That can also.
That's a fabulous death.
Yeah.
And I especially love how the ragdoll works.
Maybe if it was really moving super fast. So taken during the...
oh yeah, that feels good. You like, oh no.
Yeah, then anyway, for the first time, more effect.
What are you guys doing here? Creating another way to die for a player?
Yeah.
Why? Why is this game should be so hard? It's like you already die from everything, from environmental, from monsters, from freezing to death, from starvation, from falling cars, from eclipse. Like from blizzard, and now this. Yeah, of course.
I know we died.
Great. Why you hate our players so much?
This is just another way to kill the player.
Technically you're right, but it's not like the tornado will just grab the player from behind and insta-kill him.
So you will have some telegraphing, like, I don't know...
Well, yeah, so the central column is clearly visible as a danger, but in case that's not enough, we have the blizzard zone around it. And this is something players already experienced earlier in the game and associate with a dangerous situation.
And what about speed of the tornado? Like, what if it's like too fast and you're not...
Oh, well, we're still tweaking the movement speed of the thing. But so, while it would not be possible for you to flee away in a straight line when it's chasing you, you can just move to the side, even when slowed by the blizzard zone.
Ah, okay.
And even if it's off screen when it approaches you, it has a third layer around it that warns you with sound effects and falling debris, visual effects. So you should notice something is off, look around and see the tornado. So essentially, Fade to Silence is a harsh game, but it's fair.
The reality of game development is that there are always problems, always issues to be solved.
Things are not playing out as you have planned it 6 months earlier or so.
It's a constant chain of issue solving.
I think it all boils down to one thing, which is the sheer amount of feature in the game.
You have this really cool feature that you're really looking forward to talking about.
Crafting, camp building, followers, social stuff, weather, exploration, monster, combat, and it's especially hard to balance for a survival game where everything needs to be just right to provide the best experience.
When you prepare everything, yeah, and then someone comes and tells you, yeah, no, we cut that feature. That makes me sad. That really makes me sad. And then I cry.
So I think it's the most challenging part of the game is just to balance all those components.
I see the biggest challenge in working on Fade to Silence to be that you have a limited amount of lives in the game, and sometimes it's important to work under real conditions. So dying over and over again is really annoying, and that sucks.
And after years of development, it's sometimes hard also to keep people focused on the goal that we want to achieve without feature creep and without people wanting to do other stuff that they might find interesting.
Andreas and I are friends for a long, long time. We are running the studio together. Still, sometimes we disagree. And then we have to find a professional solution to come to a decision. These are the remains of my old work desk. As we are in desperate need of more space for new developers, we had 3 people starting this week and we will have some more starting the following months. We had to find solutions to get some work desks for those people. So Andreas and I will remove from here and head over to Onuan, Misha and Dennis and Christian, and we will make here, or we'll make this a place where people can have their lunch or sit together to have a coffee. Our big meeting room where people used to do that will be transferred into an office space with desks and PCs, and the same for our beloved rock band room at the end of the aisle, where we used to watch reference videos or play games for testing or for references or for research. And in the basement we will have a new meeting room and a table for lunch in the cold, ice cold, dry, dark rooms in the basement. Okay, but hopefully that's just an interim solution for several months until we have a better solution in place. That's what happens if you do cool games and have to grow to do more cool games. We have some visitors in house, THQ, our mother company and publisher. The marketing people are here to discuss how we will tackle Fate to Silence marketing and especially which shows we will go to and present Fate to Silence.
So isn't also Pete's Meat there, or is this something else? Would be interesting to know.
Well, most important, obviously, is Gamescom in August, and right after this we will fly.
We're talking about events, right?
Yes, we're talking about events, of course. Like doing the whole day, and afterwards we're flying directly to PAX West in Seattle, which is like just 1 week after Gamescom, and then we have maybe a little pause. In September we could also go to Japan, maybe Tokyo Game Show, and then very important for me is always like the Igromir in Russia, which is from the 4th to the 7th of October.
Okay,
but do you remember the same thing? Yeah. In Erfurt there's the Mag called Magnology before the MagCon.
The new one.
The new one, yeah.
But it's a small one.
It's pretty small, but I think it's also pretty decent. There are like a few content creators and streamers, and I think maybe. What do you think?
They really got some attention last year in Hamburg. Okay. So it's in Erfurt. It's even better. It's in a better location than last year, and could be one of the foremost.
I think I have to Google where Erfurt actually is, but...
Yeah, but it's still in the middle of Germany. Kind of.
I know it's in the middle of Germany.
But they have like a cool concept, a little bit a new approach that more community bonding between the content creators and the actual fans. So could be pretty decent. Yes.
Well, if there are bigger influencers, then it's of course worth a visit, I think. Then we have to split up in 2 teams. One is going to Russia, one is going to Erfurt. Erfurt. Okay,
yeah.
That's good.
Maybe we can go to Erfurt and check the scene.
Yeah. So the Mag is in.
Ja, it's very important to get out there and to... Fuck die Hände, ich schau mal wieder in die falsche Bildschirm. Vincent, we are in the middle of a game design meeting where we discuss lots of stuff. And you are bringing up now a wish list.
Yeah, so we are at a point where we're doing replanning, and I thought let's be annoying and bring up all the things I would want in a game. But it's also like from previous feedbacks from the Steam reviews and or within the company, some things are already there since the beginning of the game, but we never got the time to discuss it. And this is just something on the surface, very personal, my preference, so I hope that people will throw in some extra stuff also. And we're just discussing it in a group now.
Just give me one example for one of the topics from your wish list.
I want to discuss stealth, for example, what we should do about it, like making it more prominent, making it less or more coherent or very defined on what it does. So we'll have to see what happens there. No promises, of course, because it's an open discussion. And it also includes small bugs that I know I can do in a short time, but I want people's approval first to be able to do it. Another big thing is like saying, oh, new monsters, of course, yeah, we have time for that, right? I also know that a lot of things will be said directly, no, hell no, please no. But it's always nice to just say, hey, this is good, right?
Yeah, you keep on pushing, so that's designers and general creative people, they push for more and more and more, and then we have to have some coders to say, okay, that will be different, and some producers who will say, oh no, we don't have the time. That's how game development works. A lot is going on at BFG currently.
Guten Morgen, Adrian. Heute war es mal wieder richtig schön sauber. Hier, darf hast du auch einen Kaffee verdient.
Dankeschön.
Ich mach dich nicht so sauber.
Dankeschön. Yeah, as I said, a lot is going on at BFG currently. The first steps of our studio refurbishment are done. Everything is empty now here. Andreas and I are already working from our new places, the ward. Next week we will tear down some wards and a lot of reconstruction will go on. During this, THQ is already planning our big Fate to Silence roadshow, and the team at BFG is still identifying all the areas we want to work on the next months. So everywhere a lot of things are in process. Let's see if we finish everything like we planned it.
Fate to Silence has legacy issues. It had a very rocky development when it changed publisher,
which created the action changes and what the product was going to be.
Went back to its roots, but we still have to deal with baggage from that time during development now.
It was quite interesting to try to understand the approach of the studio regarding the production.
My biggest issue when I started working on Fate to Silence,
for me personally, that I'm a non-gamer,
was the fact that I wasn't particularly good in hardcore survival type of games.
And I had to work my way through into the games industry really, and into gaming. That was quite different for me.
I like it now.
I came from a way bigger studio at first and I left for a smaller one to encounter smaller problems, which was completely false.
There's loads and loads and loads of motion capture that has to be treated and worked with.
So my biggest problem in fact was to realize that problems biggest company encounter are the same within small companies, but they are even tougher because we are a smaller company with fewer people.
But also, as we realized later, stuff that hasn't been motion captured, that is then going to be hand animated, which takes more time. It's really interesting to do, but it takes a lot of time.
So that was a bit complex to at first have
just loads of animation.
The proper approach to a specific problem or something very specific for a feature development or some unexpected bugs, because we are not a big team and we have to find proper solution fast and in an efficient way. That was unexpected.
But quite enjoyable, really. More monsters and things, so.
Check and freeze. Complete check and freeze. Gentlemen, sorry, check and freeze on Fate to Silence. We have some data corruption issue. Gentlemen, sorry. No more check-ins on Fate to Silence. No more check-ins. We have a data issue. There is something seriously wrong. Then we do. Stop all check-ins.
The team is running in overdrive. The next update is approaching fast. We have problems here, we have problems there. Facing strange engine bugs, people are sick or just overworked.
Das ist der pure Wahnsinn.
We have the construction area outside, which caused us several problems. Now we also have construction inside the studio with lots of dirt and stress around it.
Guck dir mal die Brühe an. Das ist alles hier, das ganze schwarze Zeug. Alles schwarz. Hier, schau mal, der ganze Sand. Alles von der Baustelle.
You know, we are very crowded in the studio, and if you have lots of dirt coming up from outside, you have lots of noise from the construction inside. That doesn't help with focusing on your job. And that also causes people getting a little bit stressed.
Mehr wie beschweren kann ich mich mittlerweile nicht mehr. Ich bin einfach froh, wenn die Baustelle zu Ende ist.
That's not helpful for the interpersonal communication, if you want to call it that way. But we are working on keeping the good motivation, and it helps that we get quite some cool feedback from you outside there on our Steam forums. However, as always when the project comes to a later state, there's more to do than you originally have planned, and that's something we have to handle. Let's see how we make it.
New style. It would be nice if we would have a bit more space. Now we have to make the best out of what we have.
Caffeine helps.
Stopp! Stopp! Bitte stehen bleiben, ich habe morgen ja grünes Gewürz, jeden Tag dieser Trick. Ich finde mir, würdest du mir die bitte überziehen? Bitte, ja echt Adrian, bitte tu das.
Adrian, du machst eine komplette Boden jetzt
ja,
dreckig,
schau mal,
das
ich
geht
habe alles
nicht.
geputzt.
Jetzt müssen wir gerade wieder putzen.
Ja, und alle haben sie angezogen.
Das ist wieder was.
Ja, das ist wieder der Adrian, gell? Ich habe gedacht, das steht hinter uns.
Ja, dachte ich auch. Schau mal, jetzt hat er alles wieder dreckig gemacht.
Also Adrian, könntest du uns echt ein bisschen entgegenkommen? Alle Arbeiter hier haben diese Schuhüberzieher angezogen. Ja. Bitte tu es auch du für uns.
Guck mal, du hast jetzt den ganzen Boden dreckig gemacht. Und ich überall einen Streck verloren.
Ich habe morgen 5 bis 6 Mal über den Boden geputzt. Ach Adrian, bist doch unser Chef. Ja, kommen wir doch dann auch entgegen. Aber ich bin gelehrt, ich krieg dich überredet.
Here we go.
Oh, look, 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 look.
Maybe I should also mention what actually works in the game.
Hey, how are you? What? You're in the hospital? No. A longboard accident. You broke your leg. Okay. That's a shitty timing. We will work something out. Yeah, get better soon. Bye-bye. Bye.
Damn it. We are at the hospital and just walking towards the entrance and then going upstairs. We're not allowed really to shoot anything inside the hospital, but hey, we'll see.
So, this is the one.
crashed with the longboard and broke my leg. 3 screws inside there. Yes, now I have to walk with crutches.
So, tell again, how did that happen? Was it like downhill racing?
No, it was just on the normal street with my longboard, and then it just go away and I fall down and with the full power of my body on my right leg, and now I'm here. There it's broken. Yeah, that's I think that's one. And also my amphibious is broken, but there is no screw inside. There's only that stands okay, so we don't have to fix it in any way.
Oh,
yes.
Yes, we have a problem with the dirt from the construction area outside. But pink slippers, really? On the other hand, you always should choose your battles wisely.
Hey guys, I'm back from the hospital and now I'm working again with the guys from BFG. The first week and a half I have to work from home because I have to see the doctor like every 2 days a day, and they have to remove my stitches, but after that I will come back to the office and work normally here with the guys and hopefully have a normal day again.
Here we go.
This construction work really makes me sick.
Class with the basic functionality, and if there are some differences, we do the same shit over again. I just want to visit it. Because the overview wasn't working either, and I just pasted this. Yeah, there should be already fallback sent by UI.
Hi. Yes, for sure. Just first name. Red.
So what's up? I'm planning to quit BFG. Yeah, it's just those private reasons.
Okay, that's a surprise. It's very sad to you.
Sorry. It was really a hard decision to quit BFG because the team, the company, and
everything about BFG. I love it. So it is just because of my personal reasons I had to make this hard decision. So I will always remember the time spent at BFG. Oh my god, I'm getting emotional now. This place is hell of a... Very fun.
Complete check and freeze. Check and freeze on Fate to Silence. No more check-ins. We have a data issue. There is something seriously wrong.
So we had this massive issue in the saving system. That basically sometimes it only half saves some files. So that ended up with corrupted data that we can use basically. So for example, if someone was working on a particular monster, they would usually make their changes, save the file, and then send the files to the server where we centralize the whole game. And obviously, if some of those files were only half saved, then we end up with these corrupted files on the server, and then nobody can use them anymore. We basically, Yuan's email was basically saying everyone needs to stop sending stuff to the server so that we can have time to fix the issue and continue working. The whole emergency check-in freeze, because check-in is what we call sending files to the server. The whole process is called check-ins. The whole check-in freeze was important.
Just Mahesh approached me. He will leave the company for personal reasons.
Why?
Just personal reasons.
Because I was discussing with him recently and he said he's super happy in the company compared to the previous company he was. Okay, so it's private reason.
Will it be difficult to get a new one?
Yeah. So first, Mahesh is our most experienced cutscene animators, and it's always difficult to find animators who are experienced and good. So, oh, fuck, that sucks now. Is there a chance to? Can I discuss with him to try to convince him to?
No, I don't think so. You can talk to him, but he was very clear that it's on the personal side. We have no influence. I will start contacting the agencies again and put the stuff on the job boards.
Boris is going to be happy.
Yeah, that's bad. Bad timing, but we have to handle it.
Yeah, it's mainly the fact that he's the most experienced cutscene guy. We had already only one expert of cutscenes.
So no one else is that experienced in this area?
Ina has that. Ina has also, but we have to deal with it. We'll see.
Okay. We'll keep you updated.
We have a problem. Over the last weeks I realized that even though we are technically about to finish a bunch of features and they are functional and good, we're missing the difference between good and great, which is that extra hour you get to spend on polishing. Whether this be gameplay or art, from a simple list it looks like we need more time to actually finish what we wanted to portray as good as it can possibly be. So I have this little problem of needing time for the 200 little things, and I'm going to have a rather tough conversation with my managing directors because of that. That's my current problem.
Hey Onur, you look concerned. What's up?
I'm thinking about our upcoming meeting in an hour. So I've been reading, looking into everything that we have documented so far. The bugs, the progress, the speed of production, all of that stuff. We have a couple of problems that need to be addressed, and in the current state, I'm afraid the only way to address them is to ask for more time. Everything we have built so far is working, right? But the problem is they're missing the last bits that make them beautifully, you know, represented, displayed to the player.
Make it shine.
Yeah, it's documented in this way. It's like this part, one feature is perfectly working fine, except it's got 10 bugs, 10 minor tiny bugs attached to it. So if we fix those bugs, then we are distinctly making this feature unique than the other ones, for example. And in order to make them shine, the only decision left to make about them is do we spend the time on those, or do we spend the time on the other stuff?
What are we talking about?
We're talking about a list of 200 to 250 tiny bugs. So it's basically tons of tiny things that accumulate to time. Practically, I know this is not what you would want to hear, but practically a sensible extension of 3 months.
3 months?
Some of the team, yeah.
Fuck. Can't we do something with outsourcing or with
Not for these things. It's too much hassle for the in comparison to the value we would get if we did them in-house.
We committed to the time. We have our budget and we are known for hitting our budget in time. So THQ Nordic is counting on us. So
I know. I'm aware of that. That's why it's not easy, but it's a risk with ambition.
It will be a tough talk, I'm sure.
But
it has impacts on other projects. It's not something that can be decided easily.
Fair enough.
And we have to involve THQ Nordic.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk with Adrian. He won't be happy as well.
Sorry for the bad news, but yeah, it is what it is at this point.
All right.
Let's talk. Yeah. After our discussion downstairs, I looked at certain things, whatever we can quantify. Let's put it this way, right? There's one part I want to emphasize, which is simply the polish. Call it visual polish, call it gameplay polish. It's the little things here and there that we think are going to make the difference. Is there a way around it? Well, lack of polish is not something we want, and polish is something we can pretty much use to get the real message of the game across. So that's...
So what you're saying is we need more time?
We definitely need more time.
We have to discuss it. It's so not an easy thing to decide, and we definitely can't decide it on our own. We have to involve THQ Nordic if we want to go for it. But according to what Ronan told me downstairs, I agree with him. It would be a mistake to not try to get the best out of the game.
Okay, then let's go to Vienna and talk to THQ. They won't be happy.
Definitely not.
That's game
reality is not so changeable.
That's gonna be an interesting meeting, but okay, quality comes first.
Alright, good to know.
Ciao. Okay, let's go to Vienna.
Alright. I'll meet you guys there.
Game development is a creative and very complex process.
Hey, we are here at the THQ Nordic headquarters in Vienna.
And any initial plan will not survive the first dose of reality. We did a very good job with Fate to Silence, but we would like to add some more resources to make it the awesome experience we are envisioning. However, this decision has to be made by our publisher THQ Nordic, who also happens to be our parent company. They have to consider not only the creative side, but also release plans, marketing capacity, the release date and competition around specific dates. Last but not least, they'd have to determine whether or not additional resources will lead to additional sales. Such critical topics are best discussed face to face. So Andreas and I are heading over to the THQ headquarters in Vienna, Austria. Okay, we had an intense 2 hours discussion. Basically, we were on the same side, quality first. The challenge was to justify how extra time actually will improve the player experience. We went through a lot of tasks on our to-do list and through all of the feedback from early access. It was a fair but also very blunt discussion. Finally, we played our last card. Let's call it a hidden ace in the sleeve. Something we only can do with extra time, and it might turn out quite sexy for players. This made a difference, so... we got it. We can add extra capacities to Fate to Silence, so full steam ahead with development.
The best thing about Fate to Silence is the atmosphere it creates.
So surprisingly, the thing I like the most about the game is that it kind of pulls you in.
You have a lot of different features implemented, like
the music, the tension.
You are able to build a camp, recruit followers, go out and look for resources.
The post-apocalyptic winter eldritch nightmare.
It's a game with a great atmosphere. It's a great game where you really feel that the environment is going to kill you if you are not careful.
You're gonna play the game, then out of desperation maybe you'll quit and say, and suddenly you realize that you've been playing 4 hours straight.
It sucks you into the game and really immerses you.
And guess what? The next day you want to continue your journey.
What I like most about Fade to Silence is the mood.
I like the monsters.
For me it's graphics. I've always loved graphics. I loved the way graphics themselves evolves.
I really like the look of it. I mean, it's visually stunning.
That is completely overwhelming at the beginning, but you can fight tooth and claw for your survival and slowly gain more and more ground until you carve out a stable niche for yourself and even overtake the threats at the end.
It's an environment that will kill you, and the environment tells you that it will kill you. So I really like the mood we have in Fade to Silence.
And it's really nice walking through the landscape, and it's visually stunning, and you wish you know, that landscape would be for real.
The graphics are completely outstanding, and it's not only about the visuals or the meshes, the environments, it's very everything.
Every now and then there's a monster coming along, and I think, God, I animated you, why are you attacking me? But it's really pretty cool.
I like Fade to Silence mostly because it lets me fulfill my deepest desires of having a sort of diet where I can lose some weight and that I can freeze to that.
If there's one thing we want to show with BFG Unlocked, it is that game development isn't a straight road. A lot of problems can and will arise on the journey. For us, the last few months had plenty of unexpected challenges. A strong vision of our game and the passionate efforts of the whole team helped us to overcome them and finally to deliver. The Guild update we just released on Steam is the biggest update yet content-wise, and we are really happy with the result. Still, the roller coaster ride is not over. We have plenty of work still to do until Fade to Silence is finally released on consoles and PC. So stay tuned for more BFG Unlocked. This is Black Forest Games, I'm Adrian, I'm out.